Hello everyone, this is a very special episode of WLBT's Ask the Experts. Today we have our first alert meteorologist, Miss Rachel Coulter. Welcome to Ask the Experts.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, so she's in the hub all the time giving you weather outside of the newscast. So she knows how everything works in here already.
Hopefully, there's like a lot of cool little technological things I'm still trying to figure out.
So
yeah, I'm glad that y'all are manning it this time.
Yeah, that's what Cheryl said the other day. I didn't realize she doesn't deal with a lot of the stuff that we do for the show. So that's pretty neat. It's different for everything we do in here, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So awesome. So Rachel has questions that were submitted to the Ask the Experts page on WLBT.com, but we are live on Facebook, so you can join the conversation and ask her anything while we're here. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So first off, where are you from?
So I'm from a couple different states. I always get confused as to how to answer this. So I was born in Wisconsin, lived there 10 years, and then the second half of my childhood was spent in North Carolina, and that's where my parents are now. So
okay.
I guess Wisconsin and North Carolina.
You can claim both. Yeah. And then so when you move, you're like, after you've been in Mississippi for a while, you'll be like, well, I live in Mississippi.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I went to school somewhere else and then worked somewhere else before that. So just all over the place.
Yeah. That is a question that's a bit further down, but let's go ahead and skip to it since you mentioned. Where did you go to school?
So I went to Millersville University in Pennsylvania. So it's in Lancaster, about an hour from Philly, in the Amish country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was fun. It was a good time.
Any stories from there?
Oh, gosh. Well, tons. But it was a really fun place to go to school, and the Northeast is nice. There's a lot of snow, so I like to not be in that. So
okay.
And I know that's probably one of the questions.
It actually was about your favorite type of weather, so we know it's not snow.
Not snow, yeah.
All right. Have you always been interested in weather?
Yes. I think since I was 5 is when I started, because my grandpa, he used to take me outside and we would storm watch from the garage, and he would tell me everything that was going on. And so from there, went home and started a storm chasing club in Wisconsin and forced my friends to sit outside with me with metal chairs and umbrellas. I don't know how we didn't get struck by lightning, but we did. God is good. So,
yes.
Yeah, I just always knew that's what I wanted to do. Didn't know I wanted to be on TV until my junior year of college. Always wanted to be behind the scenes doing research. But
okay, so you were into it then when you decided you wanted to report the weather.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, good. We've got lots of good mornings here. Let's say hi back to Madeline Schwartz, Dominique, John Hurd. Howard's son, Brian, says, good morning, Rachel Coulter. Baloo. Colleen Hawkins says, why is it foggy in the mountains like in Tennessee in the Smoky Mountains?
Yeah, I guess it just depends, and there's a lot of different temperature changes too when you go into mountains versus valleys, and so that's part of it. There's a whole bunch of reasons for that, and we even had fog this morning here locally as well, since we had all that rain yesterday, and you have calm winds, and if you have clear skies, all of that just kind of, so it depends varying on where you are.
Okay. Yeah, highs and lows and mist and
all. Yeah, there's so many factors and components for each area.
Wow. Okay. Kathy Eve says, "Hi, what is causing the nation's heat wave?"
Well, we have a ridge, what we call a ridge of high pressure. So you go way up in the atmosphere, and pretty much what happens way up in the sky where the planes are flying derives what happens here at the surface. And so way up sky, kind of like we have mountains on the ground, there's kind of like mountains in the weather too, and that's what we call our ridges. And where we have those ridges is where it just gets really, really hot, and that's where you stay dry for the most part as well. So we have one of those just off to the west, and that's why you have all those heat advisories, excessive heat warnings just out to the west of us. And we keep getting those scattered showers and storms because we're right on the edge of it. And so that's keeping us in this kind of stormy pattern that we're in.
Okay. So Brian Ballou asked, one question, will it be good boating weather this weekend? Me and Dad, Howard, would like to know. He's an avid boatman.
Oh, yeah. Well, just definitely keep your first weather app handy. So we have scattered showers and storms in the forecast this weekend. So hopefully you'll have some good time out on the water, but can't make any promises. There's probably going to be a storm or two that kicks you off the water for a second. Then you can get back out.
Okay. Yeah. And Colleen said thank you for the foggy.
Yeah. Hopefully I explained everything all right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. How did you know you wanted to be a meteorologist, a news meteorologist? You gave us that tidbit there.
Yeah. So I've always wanted to be kind of behind the scenes. People would be like, "Oh, do you want to be on TV?" And I always said no. Like I never wanted to be on TV. It wasn't until my junior year of college we had this show at school called Weather Watch, and they needed an anchor to read for it. And so I auditioned for it, and it was so much fun. Like, I loved it. It was so much fun. So then my sister's boyfriend knew the chief meteorologist in Raleigh, and so I had to sit down with him. And Nate Johnson was the internship supervisor, and he was sitting right behind me, and he was like, you should apply for an internship. So I did, and that was the best summer of my life. I had so much fun because you saw the science, people were forecasting for most of the time and building graphics. I love public speaking. So it just was like the perfect mix of the science, but also getting to just explain things and have fun talking on TV.
So really with doing it for the news, you have other stuff involved, like you mentioned, making graphics and things like that.
Yeah, there's a ton
involved.
that goes on for the 8 hours we're at work. We're on TV for, 5 minutes of that. So,
all that work for the 5 minutes.
Exactly.
But it's all for the good of everyone. There we go. You do a very good job giving us the weather report.
Thank you.
How long have you been a meteorologist?
So I've been a meteorologist since the summer of 2015. That's when I got my meteorology degree. So yeah, about 4 years now. Okay. Yeah, time's flying.
Brian, yes, you should get the app, definitely.
Just plugging in, I have to. That's my job.
He said I should probably get the app. Definitely you should. No, I really use mine like every day, multiple times a day. When I first get up. Drew Cherry said that he watches the radar religiously since I spray. Must be a job.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay. Let's see. Back to our questions from the Ask the Experts page. Is it going to rain all week?
So it's going to be off and on. You know where you're like driving your car and you look in the distance and you see like a downpour over here, but it's hot and muggy where you are. That's pretty much what we're going to be dealing with all week, where you have time of sun and clouds and then you get like a really heavy rain over you, like at the most inconvenient time, and then you go back to your car and everything's fine again. That's pretty much our forecast for the rest of the 7 days.
JC just joined us. He was part of our marketing team. Hey, JC, we miss you already.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Okay. What does few storms mean on the app, and the difference between that and scattered storms?
So they're pretty similar. They kind of go hand in hand. We have a range of rain chances. So you see the percentage on your screen, but we try to put it in word form because I feel like that makes more sense. I mean, the percentages can get lost. So we'll have isolated showers and storms. So that's just spotty, hit or miss. Most of us will stay dry. But you could see a shower storm, and that's when you see the 10-20% chance of rain. And then the scattered or few storms is when we start introducing the 30, 40, 50% chance of rain. So they're pretty much the same thing. And then once we go above 50%, you've got 60%. There's a likelihood that you're going to be seeing showers and storms at some point in the day in the area. So few storms, scattered storms go hand in hand.
Okay, makes sense. Now, when will the fall weather begin? Big question for us Mississippians.
Yeah, because fall is coming up. It's coming up in September, so I'm excited. We do have a really good chance of being below average. Now, keep in mind our average is 92 degrees, so that's our average mark. But we have a good chance of being below it for the next 2 weeks, and even starting off September.
Oh, wow.
Of course, our rain chances are looking higher in that time frame as well. Those also go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But we'll take it. I'll take any cooler weather.
Right. So we'll get a nice fall nod at the very beginning of September.
Yeah, at least it'll be cooler than where we should be. It's not going to be as hot and muggy as what we've seen these past couple of weeks.
Great. Thank you. Okay. What is the hardest part of your job?
Definitely forecasting, I think. But it's also the best part of the job at the same time. I love it. It's a very humbling science, and you'll hear Dave, Patrick, Michael will all talk about that. But that's why I like it. It's one of those things that you have to observe and learn. And so forecasting can be a challenge because you have to, there's just so much knowledge of the area. And I consider myself a newbie here still because I've only been here a year, and then comparison to Dave, who's been here over 10, 15 years. And so he's got a lot of knowledge about the area and how the geography impacts the forecast. And there's just so many factors that go into it. And just trying to look at model data, think of all of the science and then apply that to the geography in the area. It's just it's a dance, and you just gotta put it all together.
You guys are experts. Okay, since you mentioned that being the hardest, I'm going to skip to the following question. It's, have you ever been surprised by the outcome of weather in relation to what was reported?
Yes. Again, I will restate the humbling part of this science. So we definitely appreciate any grace. It's a hard thing, but yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, I feel like it's a job where I'm constantly learning, constantly growing. So there have been multiple times I could list off thousands of times where I've been like, oh wow, okay, that was interesting. You know, or sometimes like timing. So for instance, I mean, even last week, we were thinking the storms were going to roll in the afternoon and evening hours. Well, we ended up getting some that moved in out ahead of this cold front in the morning hours, and that completely washed out any opportunity. It just took all of the instability out of the atmosphere for us. So by the time we got to the afternoon and evening hours, everything was well too far south. So that's just like a small example of that happening. And you know, we're just like, oh, well, tomorrow. Just move on and learn from it. So.
Jennifer Clark said, yay, good news. I'm going to assume she's talking about the fallish feeling weather. Yes, definitely. Okay, what is your favorite and your least favorite type of weather?
I love severe weather, and that's one of the reasons I moved here. So my first job was in Arkansas. We had a lot of severe weather there, and then this was my second job. So I really do enjoy severe weather. I think the weather played a little trick on me once I moved here. It went a little too crazy.
Oh, man.
I mean, we tied that record for tornadoes. You were first,
right.
Yeah.
How long were you here during that time?
Gosh, I had probably been here maybe 6 months, so half a year at that point, maybe even a little bit
I mean,
less.
how long were you here during the coverage?
The whole time.
Right.
Yeah. No,
wasn't it like 24 hours?
It was a long time, and it was crazy because that was a Thursday, and then that previous Saturday we had, I think, 17 or 18 tornadoes, and then that Thursday we had an additional, I believe it was 44. You know, so it was that week we'd already just been like exhausted from that weekend, and then going into that week, we knew that Thursday was going to be another day. We issued the alert day, and then we ended up having to stay at work, and we were on air for hours because, I mean, we had tornado warning after tornado warning after tornado warning. And that's, you know, that's a definite stressful part of the job. I think that could probably go hand in hand with, you know, forecasting in terms of challenge is just like trying to make sure when you have however many tornado warnings we had on this radar at one point, and it's trying to, you know, it's like, okay, where do we put our focus when there's so many, and we want to make sure that we're taking it street level for you guys for every single tornado.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And it's hard to manage, but we want to make sure that we're delivering that information to you guys as well as we can.
You all do a great job. I think you guys like took turns, like maybe running home to take a shower. I've been an advocate saying that we need, you know, a set of those here at the station for a long time because you got reporters out in the field, you have marketing producers out in the field.
I'm for that.
You guys get stuck here for severe weather. We need a shower.
Okay, I'll sign the email.
We need to do a petition while we're doing all these renovations. Just
right, exactly.
Oh, that would be good. Was that your longest shift that you've ever spent?
Oh man.
During, and probably is mainly severe weather or snow, maybe, which here is sometimes considered severe weather, right?
Yeah, no, they definitely, I think that there's been a few where I've been at the station for a while, and I know even in Jonesboro we had some severe weather events that were kind of back to back, or even just due to shift change, I've had to sleep at the station. We had this like cot there, and so I would just spend the night and then, you know, set my alarm for a couple hours later, wake up, and then get back at it.
That's dedication.
Yeah, so I feel like there's been a couple of times, but there's been some couple day shifts.
We need a bunk room and at the ER.
Yeah. We'll take one.
All right, here's a very important question. Outside of rain boots, what types of shoes do you wear in the rain?
All right, so fun fact, I used to sell shoes at Sports Authority before Sports Authority was no longer Sports Authority. That was before I got this job, because I used to play basketball, and so when I stopped playing basketball, I wanted to stay in the sports world. So sold like running shoes and stuff. Well, moral of the story, we had this like waterproofing stuff. So we would get questions of people that didn't want rain boots but wanted waterproof shoes.
Oh.
And, you know, there are some waterproof shoe options. But if you just want your normal kicks to be able to transform into little boats, then you just get the little waterproofer and then you just spray it.
It's like a spray, or
it's a spray, and then you can like pour water on it and it'll just roll off.
Nice. Yeah. I'm sure lots of shoe stores probably have that. I think Foot Locker has some things like that for sneakers.
It works. Stuff. We tested it, so.
Cool. Nice. All right. I think that's all the questions from the Ask the Experts page. Let's see what's on Facebook. Japhanie says, as a Christian, how have you been able to use your faith during your career, whether it's during severe weather or during the calm?
Oh, that's That's a good question. That's my bestie too.
Is it? Hi.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, Rachel's bestie.
She always likes to put me on the spot. I think that moral of the story, I mean, God is sovereign, and so again, it's a humbling thing, and I know that I don't have any control over things, and so it's good just to learn and know that He's in control of things. That just kind of, it does give me a calm, despite whatever's going on, for sure. But it's also, I think it adds to the level of fascination with the science too, just knowing that, like, I don't know, like, oh my God, that's so cool, you know, that looks really cool, you know, even just like driving down the road and seeing a cool cloud or something just makes me respect them more. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add for our viewers today?
Well, just that I'm very appreciative of y'all giving me grace. I cannot tell you how many times I mispronounced town names my first couple months here, and
give her a break. She's been here about a year.
No, but everyone's been so nice. I've like not had anyone just, you know, chew me out over it, and that I'm really grateful for that, because that's not always the case, and everyone's just been very sweet, very welcoming. I don't know, y'all have made it a very easy transition, so I'm grateful for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all the questions that we have. Thank you all for your questions. Thank you for coming to Ask the Experts today. It's been fun.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching. Oh, actually, hold on, let me tell you. So tomorrow, if you have questions about home buying or selling, Lee Garland will be here. So you still have time to get those questions into the Ask the Experts page on WLBT.com. You can also view our live schedule. I think our next expert from WLBT that will be on is CJ LeMaster.
Oh, nice. That'll be a
our
fun one.
chief investigative reporter. He'll be here Tuesday, so send CJ your questions too. Thanks for watching. I'm Kelly Boyd. This is WLBT's Ask the Experts.